Congratulations again. Our final induction for the evening, we are pleased to be inducting as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2016, the 2000-2001 men's basketball team. Under the helm of Coach Don Lane, the 2000-2001 men's basketball team holds the longest winning streak in program history with 22 straight and the most wins by a Transy basketball team with 27. The team was ranked number 1 in the nation in NAIA for most of January and all of February leading into the national tournament, where they were seeded number 1. The team made it to the Sweet 16 before suffering a loss, ending its storied season with a 27-2 record. To introduce the men's basketball team is Dr. Holly Sheely. Please welcome back to the stage Dr. Sheely.
Michael and Judy, I guess I have a lot of explaining to do our student athletes since this is videotaped for them. So I'll be discussing this with after the banquet. No, I'm just kidding. Those were great. The ultimate pinnacle of sports, I believe, is watching a team come together and work as one. In Transy's history, only one team has been ushered into the Hall of Fame before tonight, the 1999 women's soccer team led by Coach Parviz Zartashti. Before officially welcoming the 2000-2001 men's basketball team into the Hall of Fame, I think it's important to understand some things about the team. Transy's old Kentucky home, McAllister Auditorium, had been torn down after 71 years to make way for the Clive M. Beck Center that we're in here today. However, Beck was not ready for that team that year, which forced the team to practice and play on different floors, different campuses, and even in a bubble. Transylvania was also making the transition from NAIA to NCAA Division III, and with the transition had moved from 15 scholarships to 8. The odds were against this team. Coach Don Lane, prior to the season, was quoted as saying, "It should be an exciting season. We haven't been in the postseason for a couple of years, and they want to do whatever it takes to get back there." And they did just as they had the most successful basketball season in the school's history. Their 27-2 record was the best, and the Pioneers wound up the regular season as the number 1 team in the country in the finals of the NAIA Division I basketball polls. For the first time ever, the Pioneers were the top seeds in the tournament, where they advanced to the round of 16 before falling to Christian Heritage. Tonight, we are honored to induct them into the 2016 Hall of Fame.
At this time, as we call out the names of the members of the 2000-2001 men's basketball team, we would ask that you come to the stage to receive your award. Immediately following, Pioneer Hall of Famer and 2000-2001 NAIA National Player of the Year, Collier Mills, will give remarks on behalf of the team. Chris Sparks, Tim Majors, Scott Mendenhall, Scott Warner, Collier Mills, Eric Lidke, John Upton, Kyle Green, Nick Nash, Josh Brock, Andrew Coyle, Jimmy Fox. Anthony Staten. Matt Doty. Kyle Howard. Matt Kearns. Chris Winders. Team Manager Aaron Sutton. Assistant Coach Toby Kerrigan. Assistant Coach Greg Williams. Assistant Coach Ron Whitson. Receiving the award for Coach Whitson tonight is his wife Barbara and daughter Lynn. And finally, head coach Don Lane. Let's give the men's basketball team a round of applause.
Thanks, Coach. For such a time as this, boys, for such a time as this. There's going to be a lot of inside jokes, so some of you probably won't get these, but I don't know if this is an honor or a curse to stand up here and accept this on behalf of this crew, but I'm privileged to do it. First, I want to personally thank Jesus Christ for the success we had as a team, but more importantly for the bonds that we formed and the friendships that we continue to have to this day. This was a special group, and Dr. Sheely kind of talked about the adversity we had to overcome. This place was not here. Our first 3 years for us seniors, we played in McAllister Auditorium, which was on this land, which is a great gym, but it was time to go, I could say. And so they built a bubble, literally a bubble on the old tennis courts in back circle, and bought the old Miami Heat floor and built that underneath the bubble, and that's where we practiced. And it wasn't temperature controlled, so there were some days, coach's rule was always if it got below 60, then we'd call practice. So there's a lot of days that we would tell them, ask them, Coach, what's the temperature? I think it's time to go. And but we didn't get to leave early very many times, but we would practice in sweat sometimes. And so it was a lot of fun. But and then we didn't have a home gym to play in, so we played in Frankfurt Civic Center, Memorial Coliseum, Georgetown College, Midway College, Lexington Catholic High School, Dunbar High School. And that might be about it. We did our preseason conditioning in Southern Hills Church on Broadway, up the road, which was a lot of fun. And I want to thank on behalf, and I'm doing this on behalf of the team, but I'm the one that has to do this. But we want to thank some support staff, some that aren't here, Joanny Morales, Bethany Hammond, Steve Zimmerman, our trainer. We'd like to thank Aaron Sutton, or like we called him, Sut Dog. I want to apologize on behalf of some of the way the guys treated you when you were here, but you were a part of this team, and we love you, and we thank you for everything you did for us. We had a great group of underclassmen that didn't get the credit that they deserve for helping us become the successful team that we were. Some that aren't here, Josh Brock, Jim Phelps, Scott Mendenhall, those that are here today, Nick Nash, Kyle Howard, Matt Doty, Andrew Coyle, and Chris Winders, or as Coach like to call you, Nick Wendell. I appreciate the confidence you helped me get my senior year. I'll get to the seniors in a minute, but first I want to talk about the coaches for a few minutes. First, two guys that weren't on this coaching staff but were extremely instrumental for all of us getting here, and that's Jorge Lancho and Craig Nelson. And those guys recruited us. They came to most of our games. They were two peas in a pod, always together, Lloyd and Harry, Cheech and Chong, whatever you want to call them. But they were a lot of fun and two great guys. And Coach Lancho, we wanted to thank you. And Coach Nelson, talk about adversity, something else that we faced that year. Coach Nelson left, I think, our junior year to go work for Reebok, and we got a call in December of this year, 2001, that Coach Nelson had been killed in a car wreck. And, that was kind of the first, for a lot of us, it was the first loss that we had experienced as college students. And it really brought us together. We kind of dedicated the season to him and wrote Coach Nelly on our tennis shoes. We had the black band on our jersey, and he meant a lot to us. Coach Nelson and Coach Lancho were replaced by Toby Kerrigan and Greg Williams. And you want to talk about opposites. Coach Williams was the ultimate optimist, always encouraging, going out of his way to say good things and to lift you up. Eric Lickey was struggling in conditioning one day, which was out of the norm, and he was back there with some of the freshmen when we were running eights, and he's like, Eric, I just really appreciate you being a leader and staying back there with the freshmen. He's like, that just says a lot about you. But Coach Williams, thank you for everything you did for us. Coach Kerrigan, he was the young guy. That was his first year as a coach, and he was trying to earn his stripes. He's a tough guy. He came in as the defensive coach, and you taught us about what it means to be a bulldog, wanting a pork chop, and what it meant to be a crazed dog. He had all these sayings, and we didn't know what half of them meant. But Coach Kerrigan, thank you, and we're none of us are surprised at the success you're having as a coach. While Coach Nelson and Coach Lancho recruited all of us and came to most of our games and used to tell us how good we were as high school players, there was one coach that didn't talk to us, told us, if he did, he told us how bad we were, didn't come to any of our games, and that was Coach Ron Whitson. And I say that not in a bad way. As you all have heard already tonight, Coach Whitson was the absolute best. And he was tough. He was the epitome of tough love, which, we could use a lot more of these days. He was just a brilliant basketball mind. I'm sure the other players can attest to this, but we didn't go into a game where we didn't know the other team's plays better than they did. If they called out play 2, we would tell each other that's a down screen to a flare screen, and the team would look at us like, what are you guys, how do you know this? And it was just because Coach Whitson was brilliant. And he was also our academic advisor, which is probably his biggest success, that we were all eligible that year. And a quick funny story about Coach Whitson. Kyle Green and I were in Spanish 3 together, and we like to cut up a little bit. And Coach Whitson called us in the office one day, and he shut the door, which we knew that didn't mean anything good. And he sat down, and he said, boys, your professor in Spanish came and talked to me today. Kyle and I kind of looked at each other. And she said that you all like to cut up and talk, and even while she's talking, because you think if you talk in Spanish, it's okay. You can just do whatever you want as long as you're talking in Spanish. And so Kyle and I kind of looked at each other and looked back at Coach like with a puzzled look, and we just said, no habla inglés. And that was not a good day at practice for Coach. But we just wanted to thank Coach Whitson and his family. Coach passed away in 2003. Barb and Lynn and Mike, who's not here. He means the world to us, and still there's not a day that goes by we don't think about him, that all he did for us. So thank you. I want to say just a few words about the seniors. Chris Sparks, who's not here with us today. Chris was a great three-point shooter. He transferred in from Samford, I think our junior year. I'm getting old, Coach. Is that right? Yeah, I can't remember those. But great shooter, and he was a pass-first point guard, which we all enjoyed. Yeah, great teammate, just consummate teammate, just the best you could ask for, just a great guy. Anthony Staten, great three-point shooter. Anthony was probably the best sixth man in the country, the freak athlete, probably the worst video game player on the team if I had to vote. And but Staten was an awesome player. Tim Majors, 3-year co-captain, probably the definition of the word selfless. Just cared about team other than anything else. Didn't care about anything but the team. Great three-point shooter. Mr. Hustle, the player you love to have on your team and hated to play against. Probably the dirtiest player in the country. He came from Indiana, so that's what they teach up there. Jimmy Fox, great three-point shooter. I'm being serious. He was a great three-point shooter. Rim protector, MVP of preseason conditioning every year, academic All-American, 8th-year senior. We'll stop there. But seriously, Jimmy came from Phoenix, awesome shooter. You wouldn't know it looking at him, but he was a great three-point shooter, just a great player. Led us in blocks every season, and an awesome teammate. Kyle Green, great three-point shooter. You're seeing a theme here, and that's probably why we had so much success with it. Everybody could shoot it. Great three-point shooter, great scorer, best defender on the team for sure. Thank you. Great athlete, Pepe the Pioneer, but just another guy that's just a team-first guy. Didn't care about who got the glory as long as we win, and just an awesome player. Eric Lickey, best three-point shooter in school history. Scored 1,502 career points and hit 500 threes, so you can do the math on that. And the two came, we were playing, I think at Lexington Catholic that year, yeah, and he gets on a break. We were playing a team that wasn't very good. I mean, we might have been up a lot, and we were still in late in the second half, and he gets a breakaway and bounces it to himself and goes up and dunks it, which we'd never seen before, and then falls down right when he did it. And so that was his other 2 points other than his 1,500 from threes. And he's, in my opinion, needs to be up here in the Hall of Fame soon. So just an awesome player. Lastly, Collier Mills, average three-point shooter, terrible defender, and beneficiary of playing with all these great guys. And it is an honor for me to play with all you guys, and I appreciate your all support. We all want to thank our families, our parents, our parents, our wives, our kids, for all the support that you all gave us and helped us to get to this point as a team. This is probably the highlight of my athletic career, is being able to stand up here and accept this award on behalf of you guys, because I love every one of you, and it was an honor to be just part of the team. And that's what we had a little interview session for the website earlier today, and they were just asking about, what was the key to the success of this team? And it was, we were just a team. We loved each other, and we formed a bond then that still is alive still today, and we just cared about each other, and that's why we had so much success. And lastly, the mayor, Coach Don Lane. I don't need to go through your accomplishments. I mean, we're eating on Don Lane Court, for crying out loud, so we'll just leave that aside. But we just want to tell you thanks. It was an honor for us to be on your last team, because you have a career that, like I said, we're on Don Lane Court, so we're not going to go through all that. But thank you for just allowing us to be on your last team, and thank you for putting this team together. We only let you down twice that year, but you and Coach Whitson and Coach Williams and Coach Kerrigan just put us in a position to win, and that's all you can ask as a coach, is to put his team in position to win every game, and you did that. But mostly I want to thank you for teaching us how to be good teammates, how to be good sons, how to be good husbands, and how to be good fathers. And that's a legacy that you have left with us, and ultimately that's why we were successful. You built a team of coaches and 15 selfless players that loved each other and cared about team over themselves and put in the work to achieve our goals. Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Transy, for honoring our team with this induction to the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
To complete the night, I would like to say a huge thank you for the great food provided by our catering friends led at Lexington Diner, so thank you. Our physical plant that's led by Charlie Redmond, our alumni office and support by John Davis, the athletic staff, and in particular Parvis Zartashti, Kyle Dunaway, and Justin Sweeney, who all played an integral role in helping this come together. Last but not least, I'd also like to thank Michelle Sparks, our MC for tonight and Vice President for Marketing and Communication, for all of her hard work and assistance. Tonight we've had the opportunity to celebrate with three very deserving individuals and a team. As we conclude this evening, I thought I would leave us with words said by their teammates and coaches about the inductees. She didn't believe in giving up. I had greater confidence because I knew she was in the backfield. A leader on and off the court, will to win was unbelievable, superb can-do attitude. He made us all better players against all odds. Thank you for each of these inductees and to the team for what you've meant during your time at Transylvania and for everything you've done since you've left. Thank you for coming tonight. I look forward to seeing you and everyone at our upcoming athletic events. As we conclude, I would like to ask that the inductees and presenters at the end please come over here so we can get a team shot of the team, as well as for those inductees, individuals with their presenters. Thank you very much.